Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Pish Posh with Lindsay Wilson, home of the Pish Posh podcast, and also home of the Bullet Journal Queen. Okay, so I've seen so many posts about people not knowing how to get started on their bullet journal, or there's so many things that people ask, and I just say you just kind of go with it. But if you're looking for a guide, I gotcha. So this is my last year's bullet journal. Start at the beginning, goes to the end. Uh, Stupid, I don't know why I did that. I got a brand new blank one here. There's nothing in here yet. So, this is my new one. I always buy from the same brand. Here's the other thing, guys. If you haven't started your bullet journal yet, you got plenty of time. You don't have to start on January 1st. I've been doing this for 4 years now, maybe 5. This might be my 5th. So, don't worry about it. If you start a month in, 2 months into the year, that's good. I like to start each new year with one, but it doesn't matter what time of the year you start. It's always a good time to start being a bullet journaler. So, I've done some bullet journaling videos in the past, but I wanted to chat a little bit more on the beginner side. So, this was my bullet journal. I always buy from the same brand ever since I started. I'm a creature of habit. I buy from the Creative Notebooks brand. They sell on Amazon. It's about $8 or $9 for one of these. It's an 8x10. So this one says Gold Digger. I have other ones that were plaid. And then I got a bright orange one for this next year. Orange is my favorite color. The branding color for my podcast. So yeah, that's what I decided to do. So I think where people get really thrown off with bullet journaling is there's two things. One, they think it's a ton of work, and it's not. It's just a couple moments each day, really, and it's really therapeutic. And number two is just the setup. And the setup can be a lot easier than you think it's going to be. So I will be your guide, your shaman on how to set this up, because the problem is when people start making, maybe it's a tracker for something, like you want to track your workouts, you want to track your water intake, you want to track whatever, and then it gets full or you run out of pages. I have not run out of pages because I always think about these things. If you do not know how many pages are in your book, you need to figure that out first. So these ones always come with, God, now I feel like I should have looked it up before, but I've done this a couple times, so I know I have enough to have a weekly spread for each week, and then pages that are also for tracking things. I think it's 75 pages, so that's actually a really good number when there's 52 weeks in a year, and then you have about 20 pages for your different trackers. So how this one starts out, it's actually really nice because it starts out with some sample layouts for you. I use some that kind of look like this. I don't do any monthly layouts, so that's a thing that I do not do because I don't want to run out of room. So 52 weeks, I do weekly layouts. If I added another 12 monthly layouts in there, then I'm running it really tight with some of my trackers. So I only do weekly layouts. If you want to make sure you have space for those monthly ones, that's perfectly fine. You might want to just figure that into the math. Math is important. And then this also says a little inspiration for different lists of things you can have in your journal. So budgets and financials, grocery lists, meal planning, habit tracking, big one, goals, song lists, travel plans. I use all of these, I swear. So that's another great thing about using the Creative Notebooks brand, is that it starts out with these 2 pages that are really helpful for beginners. Next, this is the page I never use, the key. So I don't make a key or a table of contents, and I don't number my pages. So if you're somebody who wants to do that, that's great for you, but it's not my style. Because if you mess up on a page and you start numbering your pages, that would bother me far more than just not having pages at all. So, and then my first page is always my goals. I don't know how much I want to show of everything, but I have my goals as my first page for the year, every year, because this is number one what I'm working towards, big goals, kind of like resolutions, but it's just big goals I'm working towards. So I have my reading goal on there. This year it was 25 books. I had stopped biting my nails. Didn't do that. I had get a new car. Did it. I had meditate for 30 minutes a week. Did not do that consistently. And then I had a money goal for the amount of money I wanted to save. And then I had a goal for my podcast. So I hit the savings goal. I did not hit my podcast goal, but next year, to the moon. So I highly suggest having your goals on your first page. Or a really important tracker. A tracker that's important to you, having that on your first page. Then I actually might switch this one up next year because I've been reading so much. The past 4 years, I've only needed 1 page for this, but it's full. So then I have my reading. And you could definitely put this in another spot. But how I set this one up is just as books I need to read. I'm trying to get the lighting right. It's kind of hard with the focusing. Anyways, books I need to read, and then I would do books I want to read, my to be read list, and then I would write down the books I actually did read down here in small print. I ran out of room. So that never happens. I actually think today's the last day of the year when I'm filming this, and so I think we're good. I can actually fit everything in this last little spot here, but I'm definitely gonna maybe either put this on 2 pages next year or something else. And that's another reason why I put most of my trackers in the back of the bullet journal. That is my trick for you. That's what you need to take away from this. Put your trackers in the back. Work from the back on trackers, work from the front on your weekly layouts. I actually have a really interesting page next that I haven't seen anyone else do. It's my thing, and I would love for more people to do it. So I write down all of the weekends in the year, and then I give 2 lines of space, and it's in 2 columns. So it's just little chunks. And I write down the dates for all the weekends, and then after each weekend I write down anything memorable from the weekend. So like if we went somewhere, if we hung out with certain friends. This year, not as good as usual, but like last year I work a lot of weekends, so I was like working baseball this weekend, and then this weekend we went to visit my brother, and then you kind of have your whole year at a glance. Obviously it's different if you take vacations during the week and stuff like that, but it's kind of nice to see all of the weekends together. So that's my other secret: track your weekends. Okay, then I've got my weekly layouts. I'm going to do a whole video about the weekly layout separate, but I just do weekly layout Monday through Sunday. I was strictly a Sunday through Saturday person for the longest time, but I have changed. And then in my weekly layout, I track my workouts, reading, bullet journaling, my steps, manifesting, just taking time for myself, and then I have a spending log each week. So it says Monday, and then I write down how much money I spent. It's kind of like having a checkbook, but it's in my bullet journal, my handy dandy bullet journal. And then it's tracking my water as well. And it just has my daily plans, like meeting here, going to do this there, get these done, pay rent, blah, blah, blah. Just your normal, like a planner would be. And I leave a lot of space for notes and whatever I want to write down, inspiration, quotes, fun things, doodles, whatever. So then I start from the back on my trackers and lists. Trackers and lists, a bullet journaler's dream. So the other thing is, since I've been doing this so long, I kind of have patterns. I don't switch it up too much. Some people like to switch it up every year, but I think a lot of people who do bullet journaling kind of find a rhythm that they enjoy, and then they keep tracking those same things over and over again. So I have a page that's all about travel or adventuring. And so I have places I want to go that are short weekend trips. I have places I want to go in the US, and then I have places that I'd like to go internationally. So it's just strictly a travel page. And I write down those locations. If I go to one, I put a little check mark, and I put the date that we went. Next one is kind of a manifesting page. I've seen this on a couple people's actually, so I'm not totally unique on this one, but writing down my dream home and all the things that I want in it because I'm a big manifester and I like this page. I have a little picture I drew of a house that I like. And then I have a bucket list, which is separate from my travel list. Even though there's things on my bucket list that are travel related, it's more experiences, concerts. I want to go to the Comedy Store, eat a Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia. Those are a couple of the things I have on there. So having a bucket list, I think that's really important. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know I'm kind of big on manifesting, and I think everyone should have their bucket list written down somewhere, whether it's in a bullet journal, in your phone, wherever. You should have it written down so you can look at it. Then I have some trackers here, and for me, I track my migraines and headaches because I get those frequently. I'm a chronic migraine person and it sucks, but it's good for me to have it all in one place. So I will show you guys that one. I also have a tracker. I've seen a lot of girls do this, tracking their period, and then I have tracking my workouts, kind of. It's my circles on my Apple Watch. So if I close all my circles and I fill in the whole square, if I close two circles, it's an X. That kind of thing. But I'll show you this one because it's my migraine one, and that's kind of how I set that one up. It's kind of a big graph, and I have some different things here. I don't know if this looks good. I don't know if my light is too light, but like the dark ones are migraines, X's are headaches. I have all kinds of stuff on there. So that is one way you can set up a tracker for a whole year. It doesn't take up a ton of space. I see it, one of the big things the mistakes I see people making is making some of their trackers or things too big and just running out of space. I don't want you to run out of space. I want you to be able to use your one bullet journal for the whole year. Next tracker I have is really fun. It's not really a tracker. It's more of just a list. I've talked about this one before. This was all the breweries that we went to, and I write down each one in a different color, my gel pens. It says a year of beer, the breweries of 2020. That one is really fun. Obviously, not a tracker for everyone, but it's a fun one for me. Then I have a page here that's just notes that I needed to brain dump because I have extra space. I have a savings one. So that's how I do my savings. It is a mason jar, and then I divide each line up into a certain amount, and then I'll fill it in. And then actually I hit my savings goal, so then I did another one on the back side. But that's how that one went. I think that's a really important one to have in your bullet journal if you're having a money goal, because it's a great thing to track. It feels so good to fill that in. Yes, if you're paying off debt, if you're trying to save, do it in your bullet journal. Then I have a wish list, which is just big items I want to buy. I've seen this on a lot of bullet journals. I think it's good for people who have people in their life who are like, what do you want for Christmas? Or what do you want for your birthday? Or sometimes you just forget about things that you want to buy, and then you're like, oh, I actually have a little bit of extra money. What do I want to do? And then you're like, I don't remember. So it's kind of a nice thing to have on the side. I'm looking at this. Some of these things I actually don't even want anymore. So time for a new bullet journal. Next one is my podcast bullet journal page. Obviously, not everyone's going to have one like this, but I write down each of my episodes on here. It's not necessary since it's all on the computer, but it's there. And I've talked about this list before. I made a list of 25 things I wanted to do as a 25-year-old. And, COVID messed a lot of those up, but it's okay. That's a nice one to do. Keeping another list. It's kind of like a bucket list, but there are a lot smaller things than big things that are on the bucket list. I wrote down a list of women who inspire me. I wrote down just a bunch of names, so sometimes I can just look at those and remember good things. And then notes. And last one I did recently, just because I knew I was going to have some extra pages and I wanted to make something cool. Things that I want to watch. There's a lot of people who actually put these. I've seen them on Pinterest a lot. I watch a lot of TV. It's not something I really feel like I need to track as much as I would like to track other things. So It's not a big thing for me, but I did this little page here. They're supposed to be like looking like little TVs, and so I put movies and TV shows I wanted to watch or rewatch. But big takeaway I want to tell everyone. Don't put all your trackers in the front. Start tracking from the back. Do a couple in the front, and then you'll see as you get farther into the year what you're looking like. I really hope you guys like bullet journaling. If you're just starting out, if you have any questions, comment them or find me on Instagram and DM me. I love bullet journaling and I want to talk about it more, and so I wanted to share this with everyone because I've seen so many beginners out there and that's awesome, but I also see so many people quit. So if you have started a bullet journal and quit, tell me why and we can figure out what we can do to make it consistent, because the best thing about bullet journaling is tracking things, seeing over time, like you have a whole year to look at. So I don't want you to quit. I want you to have a great time doing this, and I want you to feel creative and also just good about it. So hope you enjoyed this video about bullet journaling. You can tell that I could talk about it forever. See you in 2021 with more bullet journaling goodness, and party on.